Look, I've been to a lot of places. I've crawled through sewers, I've climbed giant bridges, but there's something about New York City. You step off the bus and you just have to look up. It's a forest of steel and glass, a concrete canyon carved by dreamers and daredevils. Most people see a bunch of tall buildings, offices, apartments, way too much traffic. But I see a story, a big, messy, complicated story told in brick, stone, and steel. Long before anyone was thinking about skyscrapers, this island was called Manhattan. It was home to the Lenape people. Their architecture wasn't about permanence. It was about living with the land, not on top of it. They built structures called wigwams, dome-shaped homes, built from bent saplings, covered in bark, covered in hides, smart, efficient, could be put up or taken down as needed. The Lenape also had longhouses, larger communal buildings, a community built from the forest itself. There were no traffic jams, just winding footpaths through the woods. Then the Dutch showed up in the early 1600s. They weren't here to blend in. They were here to build a business. They established New Amsterdam at the southern tip of Manhattan. They brought a little piece of Holland with them. Steep, stepped gables, narrow brick facades, bright red tile roofs. They even built a wall, the wall that named Wall Street. After the English took charge, things started to look a little different. The messy, organic layout. The English brought a love of order and symmetry. St. Paul's Chapel, built in 1766. A quiet survivor surrounded by giants. Local stone, simple, elegant spire. British propriety and permanence. The biggest change was a plan, a really big plan. The 1811 Commissioner's Plan, the grid for Manhattan above Houston. They took a map and drew straight lines. A bold, almost ruthless act of planning. Critics called it a boring, unimaginative cage, but it was practical. It made selling and developing land simple. The grid set the stage for everything that came next. Long, narrow lots gave us iconic brownstones. Eventually, slender skyscrapers. Federal-style houses appeared, red brick with delicate details, tucked away in Greenwich Village. The city filled the pre-drawn boxes. New York grew into a major port and commercial hub. From wild frontier to structured city, about to be overwhelmed by an age of iron and people. The 19th century hit New York like a tidal wave. Immigrants poured in from all over the world, chasing a dream. This is where the story splits in two. For the growing middle and upper classes, you had the rise of the brownstone. These elegant row houses, symbol of a respectable, comfortable life. But for the poor, it was a different story entirely. They were crammed into tenements. These were dark, overcrowded apartment buildings, often with no running water, no proper ventilation, no sunlight. Jacob Riis, How the Other Half Lives. This was also the age of cast-iron architecture, prefabricate facades, faster, cheaper, and huge windows, strong and beautiful, with intricate classical designs that mimicked carved stone. A city of contrasts, the grand palaces of commerce and desperate crowded tenements. The city was running out of room to spread out. There was only one direction left to go: up. By the late 1800s, Manhattan was bursting at the seams. Land was getting ridiculously expensive. With brick and stone, higher meant thicker bottom walls, ground floors of wall, not windows. The solution was two big inventions: the steel frame, so walls became thin curtain faces, and the safety elevator. Elisha Otis made people willing to ride up without fearing a deadly plunge. Flatiron Building, 1902. The prow of a great ship. Woolworth, 1913, the Cathedral of Commerce, soaring 792 feet. Art Deco swagger, the Chrysler Building, gleaming crown like a radiator grill. Then the King, the Empire State Building, raised in 13.5 months during the Depression. A gift from France, copper skin over an iron skeleton by Gustave Eiffel, the first glimpse for millions. These weren't just structures, the American dream, built with rivets, steel, and a whole lot of nerve. After World War II, the mood changed. The decorative, romantic style felt old-fashioned, international style. Less is more. Clean lines, simple forms, honesty in materials. Machines for business, efficient and modern, copied everywhere, transforming Midtown. The fall of the Twin Towers on 9/11 left a gaping hole not just in the skyline, but in the city's heart. The rebuilding process was long and emotional. A new World Trade Center, anchored by One World Trade Center, a glass giant rising to a symbolic 1,776 feet. Today's architecture is about being smarter, safer, more sustainable. You can't just build a glass box anymore. Green building is the new frontier. The Bank of America Tower, designed to be one of the most ecologically friendly skyscrapers in the world. We're seeing bold, expressive shapes, super skinny residential skyscrapers reaching incredible heights, buildings that seem to defy gravity. The vessel, part building, part art. From Lenape wigwams to the green skyscrapers of tomorrow, the story is constantly being written, torn down, and rebuilt. The buildings reflect their people, their dreams, their struggles, their grit. It's a tough job, it's dirty, it's expensive, and it's never finished. But that's New York. It's always reaching for the sky, and it probably always will.